the first way is to personalize your welcome sequence. And no, I don't just mean by using the first name tag. I'll go into that more in a second. And the second way is to use trigger-based automations to sell more. So for example, my first point, personalize your welcome sequence. Personalization is so much more than just including first name in your emails. And actually, if you do that wrong, it can just feel really creepy nowadays, right? If you overdo it as well. But you can personalize your welcome sequence based on where your subscriber is joining from, for example. Are they joining your welcome sequence after they've listened to you on a certain podcast? Are they joining your list after buying a certain product? Mention it. Show them that you are paying attention to where they've come from, what they've listened to, what they've bought already, so that they really feel seen. Where they've come from matters. Their journey to kind of getting to you matters. You can also create a personalized experience. Well, creating a personalized experience creates this kind of seamless experience and helps people feel like they are relevant. It helps you create emails that are relevant, and it makes people sit up and notice, because so many businesses don't do this. Okay. Even if you just personalize the subject line, for example, even if you just personalize the hook, the opening of the email, the first few lines, or the first email in a sequence, by personalizing your welcome sequence in this way, you can also add a tag to the subscriber that tells you, where they came from or what they bought. And that's important for you to know, so that you can sell them relevant products or services in the future. So if you know that someone has done your free masterclass, for example, already, then maybe you want to sell them your paid masterclass next. So that tag allows you to know, okay, well, they've taken the free masterclass, so they are primed and ready maybe to try and buy the paid one. So this actually gives you more information about your subscribers and allows you to use that information to send them relevant offers and information. So here's an example for me. So I had a welcome sequence, and then I went on a podcast called the Quiet Rebels podcast. And I created a specific landing page for anyone who would listen to this specific interview on the Quiet Rebels podcast. And then I created this new welcome sequence. But instead of creating a whole new welcome sequence for my ebook, what I did was I actually just added in one line at the top of the email. Hey man, I hope you loved my Quiet Rebels interview as much as I loved recording it. As a little thank you for signing up to my newsletter, I want to give you a copy of my free ebook. This was the only line that I changed. And I think this half a line as well I added. And this email already existed, but I personalized it by just adding 1.5 extra lines. And so by sending that out, the person who receives it is seeing that I appreciate them listening to my interview. It makes them sit up and notice that I'm paying attention to them. Okay. These emails are not just your regular bog standard emails. The second way to power up your welcome sequence is to use trigger-based automations to sell more. So subscribers reveal their interests through their behavior, e.g. clicks. What they click on, they're usually interested on, right? So you could set up trigger-based automations that are triggered when someone in your welcome sequence clicks through to a certain sales page, for example, but don't buy. So them clicking on that link allows you to tag them. You know that they didn't buy because they didn't get the buying tag. And because of that actually triggers a whole new sales sequence where you are trying to persuade them to buy the thing that they just abandoned. So the other thing is that this allows you to sell to a smaller segment that has already expressed their interest. So instead of sending everything to everyone, you can send relevant emails to the right people who've already expressed interest in something and get higher conversions and happy subscribers. So this isn't it's not always going to be perfect, right? Because what happens is sometimes people click on things that they're not actually interested in buying. They're just curious and are just, want to have a read or want to find out what you're doing or what's going on, but they have no interest in buying the thing. So that happens. But we can assume that most people who click on a certain link and they know what that link is before they, before they go into the page, we can assume that they're clicking because they're specifically interested, which means that now that you have registered that interest, you can then, for example, set them up so that they receive another sales sequence that's focused on that one thing that they're really interested in.